welcome to our Ask the Expert session about CDI troubleshooting. We received some questions from you and would like to address these questions during this Ask the Expert session. We'll present the questions and answers to these questions. You are very welcome to ask additional questions in the chat. And we'll try to answer them during the session in writing or after the questions and slides are over. In addition, I'd like to mention that there are some additional questions that were sent to us yesterday. We didn't have a chance to include these questions into this presentation, so we will get back to you in writing via email with the responses or recommendations for the questions that were sent to us. So thank you very much for joining again. And Akiva, let's present the first question. So question number 1. I wanted to ask about the quality control that is applied to content and collections, particularly content coming into CDI. We have seen records in our primos that are not matching and merging because of poor or incorrect metadata, and we are always surprised that lower quality records are allowed into the CDI in the first place. Answer to question number 1. So to answer these questions, we have to mention a couple of very important issues. First, we are working with around 7,000 providers, and there are different types of providers. I can mention as an example some very big providers in our industry, like first of all, ProQuest, EBSCO, Brill, Sage, Wiley, and we are working with smaller providers and some regional providers as well. And sometimes content quality is different between big providers and smaller providers. And as you know, we are mostly reliant on metadata available and sent us by the providers. Additional fact to mention is that our customer community includes different types of customers. We are working with very big academic institutions, small academic institutions, and really small libraries like school libraries, community libraries, some other types of libraries. And all these libraries, different types of libraries sometimes are using different type of content. Many of them are also working with regional content. And as I mentioned, this regional content or content coming from smaller providers might have a different type of content quality. So our main and overall goal is to provide best possible metadata for all types of customers. And in order to do that, before each new collection is ingested into our knowledge base or index, our provider relations team and our operations team run thorough analysis of the content that we are going to ingest and are trying to communicate with the provider to get the best available quality of content that they can supply us. And we are working with some sample data analysis and making a lot of trials before content is published to the customers and exposed to the customers. But again, taking into account that we are working with different type of content coming with the providers, there might be some content that has not the best quality, but there are also some customers that have to expose this content and really need this content for their end users. We can switch to the next question. Okay, so question number 2. We want to activate the Web of Science database. On the community zone, we see many records named Web of Science, but they're all different in their year. For example, Web of Science, Science Citation Index Expanded, 1995. Web of Science, Science Citation Index Expanded, 2018. Web of Science, Science Citation Index Expanded, 2010. There are 32 options like those from the year 1989 to year 2019. In addition, in the description collection, it's written coverage begins in 1989, when our access includes 1965 onward. What should we supposed to activate? Another question, all those 30 collections that exist in our catalog not activated, we don't have any idea why. So to answer this question, we have to explain how Web of Science collections are presented in our knowledge base and index, and how these collections are published by Web of Science. So there are 3 types of Web of Science collections that are ingested. It's a Web of Science complete collection. There are different Web of Science collections published and based on publication year. And this collections will have extension of the publication year in the collection name. And the 3rd type of collections is collections by discipline. And these collections will specify a discipline in the collection name. So our main recommendation here, how to activate this content, is first of all to activate according to subscription to collections that you subscribe to in Web of Science, and if it's some specific collection purchased by you by the year based on the publication year. So this is the collection that probably should be activated in KB, community zone, or SFX KB. The same happens with collections, disciplines collections. But if you have a concern for collection coverage, for example, you're looking for coverage that exceeds the content available in this discipline-based or publication year-based collections, we recommend to activate the complete collection, Web of Science Complete, since this collection is includes all type of this content, both discipline-based and publication year-based. And the coverage for this collection is available also prior to 1989. We are going to correct description of this collection and to remove this coverage begins in 1989 collection in our documentation. Hope it will be less confusing and you will understand better which collection should be activated. If there are no questions, we can go to question number 3. So question number 3. We are considering deactivating most of CDI Gale collections. There is a chance that a Gale record may be the metadata used in a citation that links to full text in another database that we have full text for. If Gale CDI collection was removed and permalink was being used, will that link break? And answer. So in general, CDI works in the following way. You will, in filtered search, you will see search results from all the collections available in CDI index based on your full text activation. Which means that Gale results, even for the activated collections, might be returned in your search results if they match with ALMA or SFX or 360 collections or titles activated in your KB. So if you deactivate Gale collection and you use permalinks to records in these collections, there are three different options. If activation was removed, but you have full text coverage for this content from another collection, permalink will lead you to Gale record. And this record will have full text available status. It will be displayed in filtered search. If there is no coverage for such a record from the activated Gale collection, and there is no coverage from other collection activated in your KB, you will still get this Gale record using your permalink. The status of this record will be no full text available. If your Gale collection is not activated for search and is not activated for full text, there is no coverage from the collection from the KB, you won't see this record when you use permalink, since this record, even in regular search results, won't be available either in filtered search or expand search.
Thank you, Evgenia. We are going to move on to question number 4. So what can be done or is being done to alleviate the issue of duplicate ebook records in Primo VE? Our library has a ton of duplicate records from the collection SQ holds via ebook. This is not a collection we have active in ALMA. It causes a lot of confusion for our users, and there is no reliable way to remove them. So there are a few reasons why this can happen. The first is that the results are being returned based on another collection activation. This has to do with alternative coverage. In CDI, all the full text that you have active in the KB is automatically searchable. So therefore, you can have the specific records appearing in your CDI as duplicates that did not merge together. You have over here a link to the CKC article about alternative coverage. Duplicate results from local versus global collections. So in CDI, we have match and merge rules that are in charge of merging identical records, so you will not have duplicate results. Although it's important to remember that all the local records that are uploaded by your institution will not merge with records from CDI. So that could be another reason why you are getting multiple results for a specific book you are searching for. Another way to alleviate the duplicate ebook records is by suppressing the ebook record. Because all of your full text portfolios are automatically published to CDI, therefore they're searchable in your CDI UI. So to prevent the duplicates in such cases, you need to suppress the ebook records in KB from publishing to CDI. You can do this by selecting the checkbox, do not show as full text available in CDI, even if active in ALMA. This option is in the CDI tab on the electronic collection editor page. The effects of this CDI ebook records, if you check this checkbox, will be that they will not be included in the filtered search, and they will appear as no full text available in CDI expand searches. This is in case the collection is active for search, and if it isn't active for search, then it will not appear in the expand results at all. Also, going back to the second bullet point here, this setting will not affect the local bibliographic records. They will still be published to the local Primo index and will be discoverable same as before. Question 5. What is the most efficient way to report metadata errors to Ex Libris? For example, search results appearing as a journal title, but are actually articles from a journal. And this is a record ID as an example. So this example relates to the e-resource type of the specific record. That was the question. This type of issue is something we need to investigate in our support teams in Ex Libris to determine how to resolve the issue and provide a fix. For specific issues like this with individual titles, please submit a support case, and you can see here the best practices for submitting content support cases link over here that will help you open the right case and the right way to open a specific case so we can start working on it. Question 6. How do I know which collection I activated in Alma caused a certain result to appear? Why am I seeing this record? Okay, so I'll first talk about the search results. So all the search results in Primo are based on your activations in KB. So all the records that you can match against an active full text portfolio in KB, or they're part of a full text database, all these will appear in the results in the filtered search and will all be flagged as full text available in your UI. So again, there is one exception, and those are the records with the collections that are marked in Alma when the checkbox is do not show as full text available in CDI, even if active in Alma, like we discussed in the question before. So then you'll have all the records will appear, the collections that are active for search, but have no match in any of the active full text collections. So these will appear in expand search, and these will be flagged as no full text available. So the easiest way to check the activation source in CDI is to look at the source field in the full view of the item, as you can see over here, or you can check in the PNX. So the source field refers to the activation source in the KB that is responsible for the record to appear in the result list. You can see in this example, in the arrow over here, the source, Nexus Music Library. In most cases, you will see that the same collection name as in KB. However, CDI is used by both Summon and Primo. So since there are two systems that are based on different knowledge bases, it can happen that the name will not exactly match. So the activation source name can only come from one knowledge base. So if there's no exact match between both of the knowledge bases, then the 360 collection name is displayed in the source field. In addition, it could also be helpful to check out the full text link to determine the activation source. If it's a collection type link and record, as you can see in this example over here, then the name of the collection may be part of the link. You can see view item in Nexus, subscribers only. And if the type is link resolver, then the links listed collections indicate which collections are active. Question 7. After activating an electronic collection, how long does it take for Primo VE to index properly so that the name of this database will reflect actively under the collection facet? Does it stay at Alma SFX local collection in interim? That seems like what happened to my case, and I'm puzzled since we never have SFX. So collection names do appear in the collection facet based on the full text activations in KB, and only items with a full text will be included in the collection facet. Also, locally created collections will appear in the UI currently as Alma SFX local collection. You can see that in the source, as we spoke about in question 6. This is because the collection's name cannot be matched against the KB. There's no DBID in this collection. So in the meantime, you will see in the source the Alma SFX local collection. This rights update takes about 72 hours. And once the update is complete, then the Alma SFX collections will be displayed in the collection facet. We understand, question 8. We understand that it is planned to allow the combination of local ebook bibliographic records from Alma with book chapters from CDI for the second half of 2021. Can this be explained? In terms of the impact on avoiding duplications with local ebooks in Alma, whilst getting the best book chapter discovery experience. So yes, we know that there is some amount of duplications contact in KB of the ebooks, of the ebook collections and the CDI ebook collections that include book chapters again, CDI collections include book chapters content, while ALMA collections include book level portfolios. So there might be an overlap between the local ALMA and the CDI content for these collections, and duplication results will be displayed. You can go back to question 5 to see how to handle these duplications. Solution design will start later in 2021. We don't have an exact date to commit or ready to plan to share yet, but yes, this is definitely something that we are looking into and we are trying to solve. Question 9. Can you please give us some more information regarding the open access flag? I have a record that has this icon, but I am not able to reach the full text in a free provider website. So there are a couple of reasons why the open access flag appears in the record. So the open access flag in CDI is managed at the record level. It has no relation to the collection, the open access flag in KB, and it doesn't determine whether an active link goes to the open access collection or subscription database. This allows all the documents that have been published as open access by the author himself to be flagged as open access, regardless of whether the document is also available from subscription platforms or from aggregated databases. Merged with an open access record. So depending on the content provided data feed, a merged record in CDI can consist of participants, and some of them, not all of them, are marked as open access. So this can be an issue that some of you are having in your UI. So if at least one of the participants in the merged record is marked as open access, then the merged record itself will also be marked as open access for the reason given above. You can see over here, this is a link to the CKC article about open access. So managing open access collections. In KB, collections have an open access indication in the full text rights field at the collection level. It's important to remember that this indication is descriptive and is not functional, because as I described, the open access indication in CDI is handled at the record level. This is something that is designed by the author. There's no functional relationship between the collection level flag and the record level flag. So the purpose of the collection level indication is to assist you by selecting the collection activation subscription. So there are, for each collection, we have currently 3 different indications for the open access. The first one is open access. This indicates that most of the content is open access, and a small portion that is less than 5% may or not be restricted. Then we have partially open access. This is a new option that is used when CDI has mixed collections, where some of the records are available as open access, while other are restricted or have no access to the full text. Then we have subscription. This is to the collection level. This requires a subscription to access the full text. And we have subscription link resolver, and this requires a subscription and full text linking provided by the link resolver.
Okay, back to me. Question number 10. What actions should be taken if a link is not working in a CDI record? Can we do anything other than turning it on or off? Is it linked in any way to portfolios, electronic collections in ALMA? And answer. There are different linking types for different collections exist in CDI. There are mainly 3 types of linking method available. So it can be a linking records linking method. When we receive URL to full context on provider platform directly from providers, and this URL is ingested along with record metadata. There could be another type of direct linking when we use a template based on metadata the records metadata and link is created using this template, but it's another type of direct link. So here we also depend mainly on providers' metadata when the link is created. And the third type of linking is link resolver, when metadata is used for open URL creation. We create target links in order to get to the full text on provider's platform on the basis of your active collections in KB. And here we also depend mainly on providers' metadata. So there might be different reasons for broken links. First of all, if we are talking about direct links applied by provider, there might be a broken link, so we'll have to get back to the provider in order to get up-to-date link. If it's an issue dependent on metadata, we will try to fix this metadata in our support teams in order to fix this linking issue as quick as possible. There might be another types of linking failures, for example, when access to your institution for some reason is restricted on provider's platform, or when the content is simply missing on the provider's platform. So there is no some generic recommendation what should be done when you experience some problem with the linking, except for reporting this issue to our support team in support portal and opening Salesforce case. Our support teams will analyze each case and will find a root cause for each linking failure, and of course we'll try to fix as quickly as possible. There is always an option that we'll have to turn to the provider in order to ask them to fix metadata. So this was the last question in our presentation. I would like to thank everyone for joining and sending us questions. We will get back to you with the responses to the questions that we didn't address or could not address during our session. You can see our email addresses on this last slide. So if you have another questions that you didn't have a chance to ask, you can email directly to us, and we will try to answer you as quickly as possible.